Buddy, welcome back to Steel City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason, your host, as we kick off our Tuesday live edition. A little bit later, I'm going to start a couple minutes early. I do apologize, but I figured, hey, I'm here at the house a little bit early, so we'll get things going here. So let's get rolling here on a Tuesday. As always, we're going to talk Steelers. Make sure you put your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the chat, and make sure you hit that like button for us here as we continue through the show and continue to march toward all of our goals. So I appreciate it. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh? We'll give it a little bit of time, as we always do, to let people start filtering in. I know the time's a little bit off by about 13 minutes, so not too bad. But again, yeah, I was just trying to get going here a little early. I'm going to cook dinner late, so we'll be late birds tonight. Greedy and bubblegum too. Yeah, we'll get there, man. As always. We always do. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm getting a drink. What's up, Joshua Shields? Yeah, guys, I was doing football practice tonight, so we had a good night, solid night out there in the heat, man. Working, man, doing the football type things, and that's awesome, and it's positive, and definitely excited. Sorry, I'm getting my computer going too as we get through here. This computer is ancient, so definitely need to upgrade it at some time, but we'll let it go through all its little bullshit here. As always, it's a pain in the ass, but yeah, again, guys, anything you want to talk about, you can put that into the chat. I want to talk a little bit about something I've been thinking about today, and that was the Russell Wilson Arthur Smith marriage. I want to talk about that in terms of how it will work and will it work, and what our thoughts are as a group here on that situation, and how that's going to go down, and what we think about that, and how we think it's all going to play out. I think it could be a tremendous relationship. I could think it could be a relationship that really benefits the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise and gets them headed toward that 7th Lombardi trophy. I definitely do. I have good feelings about it, and I know a lot don't because of Russell Wilson's age, and that is a concern, but definitely I think he is at the stage of his career to where this could be a potentially big-time thing for him, and a great situation, definitely. What's up, Daniel? Hold on, guys. I'm going to hit Do Not Disturb real quick. I forgot to do that, as I always do. It's like my thing that I do all the time. Yes, sir. When is the Hall of Fame game? Thank you. I'm not sure. We'll look it up here, man. Once the computer gets moving. Again, it's acting all screwy and wild here, so we'll see once it starts getting moving. But I know it's sometime in August for sure, not too far away. You got to remember, training camp kicks off here, guys. Let's look at the calendar while we're here. They'll be reporting there at the end of July. I think it's like the 27th, 25th time frame, somewhere in that area. So you're looking at roughly about 2 weeks away here. Maybe a little bit over before they start to report and start to get into the building and start to get this thing kicked off, man. And what could potentially be an exciting 2024 season, a season in which the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe rebound a little bit and maybe get on to that playoff win, get back into those winning ways. So that's what we're hoping for. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're trying to analyze and break down. What's up, George? Hey, Yinzers. Take your shoes off and sit a spell. Absolutely, man. Enjoy yourself, no doubt. I enjoy that. I took my shoes off after a hot ass practice, man. Those kids, I try to interact, man, and I'm getting older, so it's definitely hard. But I feel like if I don't interact with them and I just stand there and I bark orders at them, I don't think that that's gonna work. So I try to interact with them, but boy, does it wears me out, man. It gets me in a big way. So definitely those kids got a lot of energy, and I got to give it to them, man. They have been busting their ass out there in 92-degree heat, doing it up, dude. I got to give it to them, man. For a group of young elementary school kids, they have been busting their butt. And they're pretty good kids. None of them are bad doing crazy shit. So it is something to see, man. Definitely something to see. Robert Rowe, my guess is Smith-Wilson relationship will last a few years. That's my hope, Robert. I'm really hoping for that. And that's what I'm aiming towards, definitely. I don't know how to say your first part there, edits, but shout out to you, James English, man. That's what we speak. King Grover, what's up? What it's Big K from the block. Oh, block. Okay, Big K. Well, welcome, my brother. Glad to have you, man. As always, glad to have everybody. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. We're heading toward that 5,000 subscriber goal. We want to get there before July, end of July here, guys. And we definitely can do it. We were at 3431, I believe, whenever I checked in today here before the show. So I'm just trying to get some fluids in, man. I feel like, like shit a little bit. Hammer that pop, get some sugar up in me. You remember Paul Blart, the mall cop? Always got to have a pixie stick in his shirt. User games, did you know? I don't even know what you're talking about. 92 degrees with humidity is brutal. Yeah, the humidity is what's the brutal part, man. That's where you get it. And I got to give next week, we're moving into like pads, helmets, shoulder pads, things of that nature already. So definitely that's something that, I got to applaud people. And I don't know how I did it when I was a kid, but man, 92, 90s, it's brutal to be inside of a football helmet, man. And definitely something that should be applauded. And these kids are out there working their ass off. But we're here talking about grown-ass men doing it here in late in July and August. And I definitely think this group's about to come together and do some big things, man. I really, really do. We are on the heels of the Cameron Sutton suspension. We know that. Many are out there talking about, you look at this free agency market right now and you talk about who you could possibly bring in. I definitely want to talk about the Russell Wilson, Arthur Smith relationship. I definitely want to talk about that. We'll get through that here soon. But many are talking about who they could bring in to maybe compensate for this Cameron Sutton suspension, 8 games, one of the longer ones. And yesterday I had commented on the show about the length of the suspension, and maybe it's pretty much par for the course for the NFL. And after looking into it, and I talked about it in my daily upload this morning, that's a pretty hefty suspension, one of the larger ones that has ever been handed down. We had talked about maybe why that may be, what the factors are in that whenever the NFL is going through and making their decision. 8 games is pretty lengthy for the personal conduct violation of domestic violence. I don't know the situation. We're going to have to leave it alone because, honestly, I don't know the situation. I don't know what it is. And let's face the facts. Cameron Sutton won't be available until Week 10 against the Washington Commanders, which is like after October, late October. So you're looking at Cameron Sutton not being available to then. So you're saying to yourself, what's available in free agency? Where could the Pittsburgh Steelers potentially go to pick up somebody else to add another cornerback to that room? Because they will have to. Again, guys, I mentioned it yesterday. Depth is key when you are talking about the cornerback room. In this league, you have to have depth. You can't afford to be slim in the depth department at the cornerback position. Defensive backs as a whole, you cannot afford that. It puts your defense in great jeopardy and sets your team up for potential monumental failure, period. It does. You cannot have huge gaps in the depth chart there. It's just something you can't do. So you say to yourself, there's guys still out there. The old man, Patrick Peterson, maybe a reunion with a guy like Akella Witherspoon. I've seen that being thrown out there and floated out there as an option. So there are different things that the Pittsburgh Steelers could potentially do, and you have to weigh all the factors here. You want to bring in, again, a veteran presence, a guy that's going to be a quick study, a quick learner, that's going to be able to be a plug-and-play type guy, to be able to hold down that position and apply that veteran presence in the slot cornerback position. However, I do have extreme confidence in the young talent that the Pittsburgh Steelers possess in terms of Beanie Bishop, in terms of Corey Trice, Darius Rush. I like the guys that they brought in that are veterans touchdowns already. I like an Anthony Averett. I like Dante Jackson as the number 2 on this team to start the season. And again, I think this position grouping, just the same as some of the other position groupings that I believe on this team, will grow and will morph and transform as the season progresses. And I think that you will definitely start to see some big changes, man. I definitely think you'll see some of that younger talent stepping up and stepping in and providing that depth that you need. So I definitely think that this Cameron Sutton situation could potentially create some holes and create some problems, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are equipped at this time to be able to handle that and be able to weather that storm and provide the proper depth that's needed in order to be competitive on the defensive side of the football and the defensive backfield in particular, especially on the edges, inside of the slot, those types of things. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, well, we'll pray for him, King, man. Samuel Mola, who is winning the Copa American. I do not watch much soccer, Samuel. I apologize for that. So I have no clue, man. Daniel Warman, what's up? I'm sure you're a great coach, a great dad, and great American. Those kids will remember you for your generosity. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I do try my best. I try not to be just a screamer and yeller. I don't think that that's the way to get them to be receptive to you. I don't want to be soft, but I try to definitely find a fine line. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh. Let's go, guys. Make sure you do hit that like button for us here on Steel City Live. If you're just joining us, this is Mike Drop Sports, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to join us every day for that conversation of about your Pittsburgh Steelers, about the NFL, and this is a great place to have your voice heard as a fan inside of our live chat daily on our live streams, usually about 6:30, but with football season starting up here, guys, I will give you the heads up. We are about to adjust the time of the show that will be pushed back a little bit. So we will probably be about a 7:30, 8 o'clock start time here soon because I am committed to a youth ball team. So we will definitely have to adjust our time and figure out our live show, what is the best period of time we can do that. And I believe it'll probably be about a 7:30, 8 o'clock start time. Jackson. Okay. Unknown Go Steelers. Anthony Morello. Hello. How are you doing? I'm doing good, man. Robert Rowe. Jackson in the slot and Trice outside might work. Maybe Jackson starts on the outside and he moves inside when they bring the extra DBs. Yeah, again, guys, we've talked about it often here on the show. About how an NFL offense or an NFL defense is mostly in sub-package ball. You're not seeing the base 3-4. You're not seeing a base defense from any NFL defense very often. So, yeah, like Robert's saying, maybe Trice develops into that similar body style to a Joey Porter Jr., and that's part of the hype about Corey Trice, a bigger body guy, another guy that's lengthy and rangy like a Joey Porter Jr. to have two young quality guys going into their second year of football to be able to be paired up on the edges like that. That would be best case scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Would be tremendous, especially if Corey Trice is able to develop into the ball player that I at least believe that he can, and I think many of you think that he can develop into. So definitely that could be some potential, groupings there. Trice in the slot to start out. Jackson on the edge with his tremendous speed, whom we acquired from the Carolina Panthers in the Deontay Johnson trade. So high hopes for that guy, a veteran presence there with tremendous speed, a guy that can get it done at an NFL level that's been proven. So we'll see. Yes, I know statistically he got beat up a little bit last year, but we'll see how that goes inside of a different scheme, a different defensive setup for Dante Jackson. And I think this one will be a little bit better fit for him for some reason with his speed and what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to require on the edge. However, I do think that you need to be physical, and I think that I mentioned it a lot last year, and the Steelers did it at times, and I felt like they were a team that played a lot of man, but I think that they needed to be really up on that line and being really ultra physical, and I think this year it's going to play more important than ever, and the reason I say that is because of the speed of the the inside linebackers and what they're going to be able to do. And the speed of the pass rush, we know what's there. We know that's a proven commodity. And I think if you get up there and you're ultra physical and you have big body guys like a Joey Porter Jr., like a Corey Trice and Anthony Averett, those types of guys, big body, physical corners on the edge, guys in the slot also that can be a little bit physical. I think that allows those linebackers in the middle, and that allows that pass rush to really shine and stand out and get to where they need to be. And you look at the speed of guys like a Peyton Wilson even. You look at Patrick Queen's speed and his ability to get sideline to sideline. You look at the Landon Roberts' ability to fill the middle and stop and plug the run. You look at the safety grouping of this football team also, and I think that it is going to be ultra important to be very physical, very, very physical in those first 5 yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers and control some of the speed of the opposing teams that they're going to be up against and neutralize some of that, not allowing them to get that quick first step and beat you and get out from underneath or out from that, that quick bump and run, whatever they're playing there, being physical at the line. Don't allow them to get by you and burn you. Allow them to, or slow them up a little bit and allow that pass rush to get home. Allow those inside linebackers to get into position. I just think that that's what they need to do. And I called for it a lot last year. I thought it would have helped. I think they did it at times, but I just think this defense this year has to be physical on the edges, has to be a team that does it more than they don't. That's just what I'm saying. I'm doing good, Anthony. Hope you're well. Robert Road Jackson, we did that. Zen. Hold on, let me report this guy too. Harassment. There we go. All right, we got that guy reported. 2 reports in a row, man. Awesome. I'm loving it, man. We are going good. Maybe we can get some people kicked off of YouTube. What's up, Russ? What's up, George T? Hit that like button. Absolutely. Let's report this dude. I'm on the roll today, guys. No doubt about it. I'm going for it. I just decided to start doing it. I usually don't do it, but when you say nasty things, let me remove that guy. Oh, man, I got to remove all type. Put user in timeout. Boom. There we go, man. I'm on the move here. I did too, Jason. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We don't, Russ. Absolutely. Thank you. What are you doing, David Henneke? What are you doing? I'm doing good, man. What's up, Coach? Thanks, Frank Mason. How are you, buddy? Thanks, Russ. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got to report some of those guys, man. Some of those guys are just absolutely ridiculous, man. Good, buddy. You guys worked hard today. That's one of my ball players. That's his dad's profile. That's one of our ball players on our team. Well, he moved up to another team this year, but we had him last year. They were doing very good, though, today. All right, guys. Again, we were talking about that cornerback room. Sorry, I got off a little bit on a tangent of reporting people and trying to put them in YouTube jail. But I can't let that go on there, man. Again, I have kids that come on my stuff. I can't have that. We are going to put a couple more moderators into. Yeah, I agree, Robert. We are definitely going to do that. We are going to put a couple more moderators in. So if you are interested, make sure you email me at micdropsports@yahoo.com. I definitely want to do that just to add some more moderator power to the chat to keep it under wraps. Definitely, we don't want to spew any type of hate or anything. David Henneke, good. I am. It's my backup phone because I am slamming my phone under a hood of a car while it's helping my... Man, that sucks. I hate breaking a phone, man. Nothing worse than breaking your phone, no doubt about it. I have to put a new screen protector on mine. Mine, started peeling up, and it was a brand new one, but it was, messing with the touch screen. So I don't got no screen protector on there, and that's a dangerous life to live in. Absolutely, man. You don't want to do that. No doubt about it, man. Well, email me, David, at micdropsports@yahoo.com, please. Email me, and then we'll talk about it. Russ, why would you use that we're in here. I will email you too to be a monitor. Thanks, Russ. Yeah, we're going to add a few more guys. And because I have Sean. Sean's one, D's one. Those are the two that I have right now, guys. Sean is on the show with me, and that's hard for him to moderate. Plus, his work schedule doesn't dictate sometimes for him to be on. So he works night shifts, and we're already on a huge time difference. So it's really hard for him to do it. So we definitely will we'll get a couple more of you guys. Yes, we got to do that. We got to get a couple more. But anyway, guys, let's continue with the conversation here about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jackson, that must be my son. He said greedy and bubblegum. He must have changed his name on here. Jackson Jacobs, you must not don't change your name, then I won't know who you are. But anyway, guys, let's continue to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, talking about what's going on here, talking about the big thing that I wanted to talk about today. We talked about the cornerback room. We talked about what was going on there. We're already about 20 minutes in. We've had some issues with the chat and some people there. But let's talk about this relationship between Arthur Smith and talk about the relationship with Russell Wilson and what that could potentially mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's going to be a good one, and I'd like to hear some comments from you guys. We did a little bit earlier. We heard some people talking, but Robert commented about it too. But I want to hear what you guys have to think, or what you're thinking about this Russell Wilson-Arthur Smith combination. I think it could be a good one, and the reason I think it can be a good one is why. Russell Wilson is a veteran, and I know some may be, riding on his age a little bit, but if you look at this guy, he's in an excellent premier type condition. I just seen a photo today of side by side of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, both look to be in excellent peak physical condition. Really caught up, man, and I got to applaud them on their offseason efforts here. But I look at Russell Wilson and I say to myself, he's a veteran guy that's looking to win now, a guy that really can't wait, a guy that isn't looking to build something. He's, a long-term thing. He's looking to win right now. And I think that will excite Arthur Smith. And I think that Arthur Smith having a relationship with Russell Wilson, a guy that's going to know what it takes to win at the NFL level, a guy that has been around the block, that knows how to take coaching, that knows what it takes to game plan and be effective, and knows schemes and understands how to dissect NFL defenses at a high level. Those things are going to be very appealing to Arthur Smith, that he doesn't have to teach a young quarterback how to do that week in and week out. And they're going to be able to get straight to the point every single week. And I think Arthur Smith is going to really value that. And I think he's going to be able to get the game plan going early and not have to waste any time with, major instruction, major installs of, instructional type things whenever he can get right to the game plan, right to what is going to work, and start to break down these defenses for the opposing team and really get this thing rolling early and have extra reps doing that. And I think definitely Russell Wilson is going to be able to be very effective with his knowledge, with his ability to check in and out of plays. And I think you're going to be immediately pleased whenever you see real NFL quarterback play at that level, to where you're going to be able to check in and out of plays early and often in the season, to where you're going to be able to have a variety of different combinations at the line of scrimmage available to you. And I even talked about it in the heavy packages that Arthur Smith likes to run. And, he likes to come out there in that jumbo stuff, 12, 13 personnel, really be effective in the big man type department. I think you're going to see many play combinations be utilized in those situations, because I think the Steelers can do different things there with the abilities that the tight ends possess in terms of pass catching. Guys like Connor Hayward that can run out of the H-back type role can be very effective mismatching on linebackers. I think Pat Freiermuth could have a big year if he remains healthy. Darnell Washington could be a real weapon. I think there are other players on this football team that could definitely shine in those big packages, not counting the running backs that could potentially do serious damage. And I think if you could be that run first team and be really dominant in the run game, which is all going to be dependent on that offensive line for sure. They have to get that ironed out early. But I think that you are going to have a great relationship between Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson. It's going to be rather effective in just my eyes. I really, truly believe that. I think that Russell Wilson was a godsend sent to this football team after they weren't able to sign Mason Rudolph back or had no interest for some reason, because I think Mason Rudolph was ready to take that next step, ready to do the next. He was ready to progress and be that guy, I think. I think he potentially had the abilities to really lead this football team, but that's neither here nor there now. So we're going to have to see how this all plays out with Russell Wilson, which I think was an absolute godsend being sent to this team because he is a veteran. He has won a Super Bowl, and I think that that is really going to work well with Arthur Smith. So I want to hear from you guys what you're thinking about and what you're saying. I'm doing good, Gabby. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Bird91, do you think Dak is getting traded? I don't know. I don't think it would be to the Steelers. The Steelers aren't, guys, they're not in the business of just bringing people in for $50 million without, having them in the building first. I can guarantee you that. I can say that with confidence. I just don't see it happening. Now, will he get traded, Bird? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work down there. With the Dallas Cowboys, they make some crazy, shoot from the hip type moves that haven't paid off in many, many years. So I don't know. I don't know about them. I don't know about the Dak situation. I know that he doesn't win in the playoffs, so that's a concern to me. And I don't know, though, what other contributing factors are down there in terms of coaching, the rest of the team, the roster, blah, 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 environment. I don't know how that all works down there. I'm not in depth there. But being a trade target, there's definitely potential there, but I'm not sure. Yes, get your emojis, guys, definitely. Yeah, no doubt. We talk every team, though, guys. We'll talk about anything. We want to welcome everybody again. I always say that's a great thing to have fans from other teams in here, especially when we're about to play them as Steelers fans, because you get some insight sometimes, especially when you have some really knowledgeable fans coming in that are able to shed some light on some things that you potentially might not know, that you could identify some mismatches and some different things that may be definitely a concern for your football team. What's up, Tom Ford? Welcome, buddy. Let's go ahead, guys. We're almost 27 minutes into the show. It's not going to be an extremely long show tonight. Like I said, I'm going to have a late dinner. We're going to go and grill out here once it gets dark. So definitely we are going to cut the show a little bit shorter, but not too much. Gabby, what do you think your favorite Steelers game was to watch? My favorite Steelers, that's actually a good question. My favorite Steelers game ever to watch. Wow. That's crazy. I don't think it would be a Super Bowl. There's been some nail biters, guys. I don't know if I could pinpoint it down to an actual single game because so many come to my mind, but I got to say, my favorite games to watch football, and I know they are super stressful, but they're those games that come down to that last second drive, that last second field goal. Those are my things. That gets me fired up, man. That's what I want to see each and every week. I want to see a variety of things inside of a football game. I want to see some defense. I want to see some offense, some exciting splash plays, but I don't want to see blowouts. I like a game that's 24-21. On a last second field goal. I like a game that comes down to it very, very late. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know. There's a lot. Tom Ford, who do you think will replace Cam Sutton? That is the thing, man. I don't know yet. I think the young talent rises up, Tom. We talked about it earlier, but I definitely think the Steelers are equipped with what they have in terms of young talent to be able to weather this storm and be able to get things done and be okay. But I think they need to bring another veteran, and you can't be thin there, Last Super Bowl last year, I like that game. The Chiefs game, yeah, that was our game. Brian Hanford, I am guessing Omar and Coach T knew it was 8 games for Sutton. How prepared are we for him being available? Pat Pete, insurance. I think Patrick Peterson is a guy that you could consider, but definitely he is he is definitely lacking a couple steps, guys. And I'm a Patrick Peterson fan, but I don't want to see him go out there and not be able to be effective. I don't want Patrick Peterson to end his career in that way, you know? I felt like he was able to do some things last year, but you could really sense the slowing down in his athleticism and his ability to play, quality reps every down. And if you do bring him in, he's definitely not an every down player. He's a guy that's only going to be able to come in situationally, and I don't know if that's what you're looking for. Akella Witherspoon's out there, a guy that's a potential free agent target that has already been a Pittsburgh Steeler. Yeah, he had a bad moment there with the Eagles game, got torched by A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, and then you know how the story goes. He found himself out there with the Rams. Now I think he is a free agent, so, maybe somebody along those lines. But there are options out there. But again, I think that I'm really confident in the Steelers' depth and their young talent. I got to say, and I said it earlier in the offseason, and I know a lot of you heard this, but the Steelers, I thought, got quietly better at the cornerback position. Hey, there's America's favorite offensive coordinator, Donald Brown. Play Mafia Mike. This is a magnificent Donald Brown III, just checking in with the offensive coordinator work. I got work right now, but I'm going to work on that plan next year. Donald Brown's going to get picked up, guys. He's big. Donald Brown played Chase, and the Kansas City football team is always going to be a problem to delay their next dynasty. We need to compete with those guys. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh. Best show in town is here. Thank you, Robert Road. I would rather go with Beanie than bring back Pat P. Yeah, me too, man. I like young talent. I always like to get younger guys. I definitely do. Tom likes Beanie Bishop. I do too. What's up, Tyrone Johnson? What receiver could Steelers target round 1 in 2025? I ain't that far yet, Tyrone. I don't know, buddy. You got me with that one. I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't dove into that yet. Definitely way far behind the 8 ball on that. We know. Jackson Jacobs, quit asking questions. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button as we continue through the show here on Steel City Live, only on Mike Tribe Sports. I'm Jason. As always, we're here talking Steelers, man. I read one cool article, and I thought that it was a wild take almost. Former Pittsburgh area guy, North Hills native LeVar Arrington, Penn State alumni, NFL linebacker, really performed at a high level for many years, played in the WPIAL, all things Pennsylvania type guy. Went on record as saying that he doesn't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be a team that needs to be contended with, a team that anyone should worry about inside of the AFC North or the AFC for that matter. I'm going to disagree with LeVar Arrington here. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers on paper, in my eyes, have gotten better. And again, a 5-1 football team within the division last year. And I think that they could definitely improve and do special things or, at least get a similar record. I think they've gotten better, definitely. So I do think they'll be a team to contend with. I thought that was a little off base, but hey, teach their own. Everybody is allowed their own opinion. Roberta Campbell, I can't wait for the season to start. I really feel the team will be much better this season. I think so. I think that I'm not going to say, guys, that they're going to go out there and win a playoff game or win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But I can see a better football team in my eyes on paper. And I can see a better football team in a lot of other aspects. I think they have each other's back. I think they have a better vibe to them than I have seen in the last few years, and I got to respect that, and I like that, and I think that that is something that needs to be paid attention to, and I definitely think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have a little bit different atmosphere kicking off. Hey, I got that big Pirates cup, Russ says, Jason, I just emailed Dave Brown, told him you would be contacting him. I told him how great. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. I am going to contact him. I actually wrote it down and forgot about it. I was very busy today, Russ, but thank you for doing that. I definitely will contact him, and thank you for emailing. I'm just going to, we'll do that, Russ. We'll get that all taken care of. Thank you. Mark Malone, if we can overcome Tomlin's coaching, we may win a playoff game. That is an issue. And guys, I know a lot of you love Mike Tomlin, and I don't hate Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin's a good coach, but Mike Tomlin does some things that make you scratch your head, and you can't deny it. If you watch the games, you cannot deny it. You can't overlook the poor situational football. You can't overlook the poor roster management at times, and you can't overlook his time management. You just cannot overlook those. Also, bad challenges at times. There's a lot of things that Mike Tomlin isn't perfect at or isn't the greatest at, and I understand that. I definitely think Mike Tomlin was a great coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout his tenure. I think he's a player's coach, but definitely has major deficiencies that he has to figure out too. And I've been very optimistic this offseason because I think that he's worked on changing some of those things. Again, bringing in outside coaches, bringing in players that maybe they don't normally go after in free agency, i.e. Patrick Queen. Taking a leap for a Russell Wilson, a Justin Fields type guy on a trade. Things of that nature. They're doing some things that are a little bit different. And I have to applaud him for that, and I hope that the changes continue to take shape throughout this offseason and continue to grow this football team in a new way, a new direction. And I think Mike Tomlin hopefully has recognized that it needed a little bit of a freshen up, a fresh start a little bit, and maybe things do change. But definitely he has to be better too. And Mark hit it and said that he has to be better. Absolutely. Hold on, I got to find my place in the chat. I'm going to say we can go win the Super Bowl this year. That's from Russ. Tom Ford, I agree the Steelers got better, but I don't believe they will go anywhere as long as Mike Tomlin is the head coach. Yeah, maybe, man, no doubt. It's starting to wonder. You're starting to wonder. You're starting to worry. And I can't argue it. Jet, the question is, or J3TT, the question is, what kind of leeway is Russ getting before he's benched if he's playing terrible? That's one of the things I said there, J3, about Mike Tomlin's poor roster management at times. How much leeway does he give players? Because last year I felt like he failed a bit in a big way last year. You had Mason Rudolph in that building for 6 years, and if you were unable to recognize that he could play better than Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, and you were allowing that shit show to continue to go on over and over week after week, you allowed Mitchell Trubisky to continue to go out there and suck week after week and not get the job done, and you weren't willing or able to recognize what was going on. I think that was a huge roster management blunder, and I think that was a big issue, and I think Mike Tomlin should have recognized that and did it a little bit early. But, there are many variables inside of that decision making too, and I'll give him credit for that because you have to look at where your football team is at that time. You have to look at where the conference is at that time. Do you have a little bit of, give and take a little bit to where you could afford to lose the game, to where it wouldn't kill you inside of the standings, inside of the playoff race? Those things have to come into play, whether you give a guy another chance, whether you're willing to stay with the guy. But I think this year he needs to be a little bit more quicker and decisive with his decision making in terms of roster management. And when players aren't performing to the level they need to, I think you need to turn and go and maybe, upset the apple cart a little bit and make a move. So I'm not sure what kind of leeway he'll get. I'm not sure how long they'll ride with Wilson, but I can say this with confidence. I think this team is built right now that it can win. In my eyes, and I'm not saying a Super Bowl, but I think they can compete. And I think if you play around with that quarterback situation too long, you might stumble, man. And I don't look for Mike Tomlin to allow it to go on and be some dramatic thing. I think that he would pull the plug if it isn't going well and see what Justin Fields got, because I think that they do have high hopes with what he can do. Donald Brown, the play timing, the clock timing, clock management, the play calling of the crunch time, everything like that needs to be done, knowing when to run the ball and when not to. Yeah, you got to know what to do, man. Clock management is a very difficult thing, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I can do it better than Mike Tomlin. I don't, probably couldn't. But definitely it needs a little bit of attention, man, and a little bit of a look at. Mark Malone starting Trubisky and Pickett were the last straw for me. It was a brutal thing to watch. Absolutely, Mark. Roberta Campbell, I agree. The team is better, and they should have no problem winning the AFC North, and it will be better with having a real OC. The defense should be able to get off the field more, which will help too. I think what will help the defense the most, Roberta, in my eyes, is the offense being able to stay out there for more than 3 plays. I think that is the biggest thing that helps this defense this year and keeps them healthy. Russ, I think Tomlin feels sense of urgency. Art will be a different, it may be, man. No doubt, and he may be feeling the heat. No doubt about it. Robert Road, I was listening to Steeler Depot today, and Dave Bryan is indeed very good at telling people about the salary cap and the moves the Steelers might make based on the salary cap. Yeah, I definitely want to talk to that person, that Dave guy, because I don't know enough about it, guys, and I'm not going to sit here and try to give you false information. So I definitely want to get a guy in here that can give us a little bit of time and talk a little bit about the salary cap and explain some of the ins and outs. I definitely think that that's something that would be very valuable as a fan. Donald Brown, he has to learn to be clutch with his decision making and not blow games, big games that will get us to the Super Bowl, at least the playoffs. Yeah, you gotta manage the situations correctly. Steve Pickering, I like Tomlin, just not as coach. I'll give it to him though. He's made it to where Rooney can't fire him. Yeah, he does have him, Steve, against the wall. I can't disagree with that, man. He does have his back against the wall. It's a weird situation. USA for the first time in a long while. I have some hope for the Steelers, but with Tomlin as coach, I don't see them getting very far. USA, definitely you and a bunch of other people have a lot of concerns, and I think those concerns are very warranted, guys. Definitely so. Kevin Brokenborough, okay, agree. Russ, in my opinion, behind closed doors, I think Coach T has been given a time frame for Super Bowl by Art, maybe. Russ says no excuse, not challenging D-Day, touchdown last year. Absolutely, man. Wave those towels for Miss Pittsburgh. Russ says offense needs 3 to 4 8-minute drives. Yeah, you got to have those big drives, man. Time of possession is key. I don't know what you're pleasing about, Kevin. I'm sorry. I'm lost. Russ, Steelers Depot is on Tuesdays and Fridays now. We'll go back to 5 days soon. Oh, cool. I'll have to check them out. I don't get time to watch too many, man. I try to watch some of the ones that I used to, but with the channel and things that I have to do outside of it, it definitely limits me on what I can do. George T., he's talking to Russ. AJ Lindsay, do you worry about Arthur Smith and our new offense? And Jason, honestly, do you think our defensive style is outdated? That's good questions, man. Thank you, AJ, for the comment. Do I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-4 defense is outdated? No. And I say it this way. Why? Because you're never in that base defense as an NFL team. I say that all the time. So I definitely think that I think the schemes could be adjusted a little bit in terms of more modernizing their defensive scheme a little bit. But that base 3-4 isn't outdated because you're very seldom ever in the base 3-4. I think you can still play quality football out of it at a high level and be very competitive, no doubt, and do some dangerous things. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers definitely play so much sub package like every other NFL team. So I'm not sure that I would consider any of the base defenses really outdated because that's just what I'm saying. It's a base, it's a start, and I think it's just something that gets you lined up, and then you switch up and you get into your sub packages. So I'm definitely thinking that it's not. But you say. Is Arthur Smith, his new offense, something to worry about? No, I think it's a good thing. And I think that it's going to bring a different brand of football back. Well, a brand of football that I think a lot of us want to see as Steeler fans. I think it's going to bring that smash mouth, aggressive nature back, and I think we all value that. But yet I think there's going to be some wrinkles and some elements to this team that they could be explosive and be very good in that department and have some splash plays and be able to be really good and put some points on the scoreboard. I definitely think that. And I got to say that I definitely think the Pittsburgh Steelers under Arthur Smith are going to definitely look a lot better and be a lot better offensively. Definitely. And I'm not scared of it. I'm not worried about it. I think it was a great move, a great hire. I think bringing in a guy like Arthur Smith outside of the organization to breathe a little bit of new life into that offense, which it needed so badly, I think was a very good move. So I think Arthur Smith and his jumbo personnel, are going to be able to do some special things. I like that, and I think they can do some different things out of that. And I think they're going to be able to throw the ball around the yard with Russell Wilson a little bit because he still has a strong arm. He still can throw the deep ball. So I think it's going to be good. I definitely do. Jason Brown, linebacker coach. Jason Brown. Oh, maybe, man. They need to do some mix things up at times, no doubt. Thank you, Kevin. Russ, yes, George, they are. Was 102 here yesterday, 98 today. It brings structure to the offense. Yeah, no doubt. It is hot, man. All right, guys, we're going to start winding down the show today. It's a little bit after 9 o'clock, so I'm going to go fire up the grill, do some grilling. So I'm going to do that now that it's starting to get a little bit darker. I got the lights cranking. 55 degrees here in the mountains of Colorado. I got to come live where Robert lives. I need it. I need that cool weather. I think so too, Russ. I think he's going to mix it up, man. I think he's going to spread the ball around. And I got to say this, guys, before we jump out of the show. One thing about Arthur Smith's offense is I think every week is going to have a different hero. I think every week is going to be focused around a different position grouping, a different player, or a different couple players. And I think that that's what's going to breathe new life into this offensive system. And I think that is what is going to be the key thing to watch, man. I don't think Arthur Smith is going to be one track and say, George Pickens is our guy on the edge. We only throw it to him. Bullshit. Mix it up. Allow them to double team George. Allow other people to get in the mix. Allow that run game to go. Be different every week. Never come out looking the same old. Don't be vanilla like they have been under Matt Canada to where you knew what they were going to do. I could tell you the plays they were going to run. You could too as fans. Every time they lined up, you could probably say to yourself, here comes that jet sweep. Here comes that check down. Here, you could tell what they were going to do. It was sickening. And I'm so glad that they can definitely, hopefully do some different things, man, and mix it up. Thanks, Russ. I appreciate it. Who's the Steelers' new radio announcer? I don't know, man. Grilling and chilling. Amen, George T. Kevin, it makes it difficult on the defense. Absolutely. Me too. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh. Absolutely, guys. Before you leave, make sure you hit that like button if you're not subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to one of the more fun shows, I think, on YouTube. So make sure you join our community of thousands of like-minded NFL Steeler fans, man. We like to have great conversation every single day. So come and join us. Throw your comments in. Have your voice heard. And join the Mafia. 99 cents a month. Get yourself some emojis. Get entered into some giveaways and things of that nature. So until tomorrow, I'm Jason. We'll be back with our live show tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you turn your notification bells on, guys, so you can see any time adjustments or anything like that. We're going to maybe move some things around again, like I said, next week. So that will be coming. So make sure you're listening up for that. We'll finish this week on our regular time frame. So keep your eyes out. Things will be changing as we continue to grow the channel too. So until tomorrow, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports in the show, Steel City Live. Peace. Thank you, guys.